And welcome to the Countdown to Pull Time show here in Raleigh, North Carolina, the North Carolina State Fair, a great event. My name is Dan Mayer, joined by Bert Forbes here tonight. And Bert, we have got a show of shows here this weekend. 4 exciting sessions, and we're going to kick it off here tonight. Tell us about it.
You know, you look at some of the classes that we have here. We got 2 regional national classes starting us off. Number 1 is going to be light pros and the mini modifieds. Now, so we had Kendall Beasley on earlier in the week, and just talk about the regional national aspect of this. So this is what actually gives them their championship for the year. If they pulled prior to the interleague, that got them into going to the interleague. So to actually get their interleague points championship, they have got to win here in order to finish it off.
To get into next year, right? It automatically starts?
Yeah, it moves over. So this is going to be a big show here tonight. But we got two-wheel drives. We've got some of the best two-wheel drives you're going to see in the nation. Modified tractors and light four-wheel drives. And we're going to be talking about some of these classes, because some of these classes that you will see here this weekend are only state level. They are only found in North Carolina, but they're exciting classes, folks. So we've got a big show here for you tonight. Some of the mini rides, Jeff Hurt's going to be here, Cody Singletary. We've got a lot of people you maybe have never seen before. So it's going to be a great opportunity. A lot of these guys are state level, but they've got the tractors to pack the punch to take the win.
National caliber.
That's, no doubt.
National caliber vehicles. We've talked about, here the next 5 weeks, we're on week number 2 now, a bunch of different vehicles you're going to see here week after week.
Right.
Last weekend down in Tennessee, we saw some different classes we've never seen before here on FullPull.live. And here this weekend, we've got some classes that the folks have never seen here. And, the light four-wheel drive class, solely in North Carolina.
This is the only place you can run them. They're 4,000 pounds. They're running basically a 500 cubic inch max with a single carburetor running on gasoline. So those guys they have some ground speed. They'll get 30 to 35 mile an hour in a heartbeat if they get hooked into this track. So, but tons, like we said, there's a lot of stuff you've seen before, but we've got some stuff here, and that's one thing we do here at Full Pull is we want to show you where pulling is all over the nation.
And we talk about, the light pro class, very popular in the Midwest. But down here in North Carolina, they've got one heck of a light pro class.
Oh, no doubt about it. I mean, every tractor in that class between James Van Hoyt, you got the Beasleys. You got 3 Beasley tractors. And let's talk about Hunter Beasley he won the interleague pull-off with that Power Hound, an astonishing run there at the interleague. So, you've got the top contenders in the nation right here. And if you joined us earlier in the week, talking about this Raleigh State Fair, Kendall Beasley was talking about how they started up. It's just kind of running a hot farm and then moving up into light pros, and this is where it gets started.
Bert, the one thing you have to say is the first year that they had the light pro class at the farm show, a tractor from North Carolina took the win. So what does that tell you? I mean, they can beat the best of the best. And, Kendall Beasley got that win back in 2018 and,
yep.
and really, set the stage for, hey, these guys in North Carolina, they mean business.
And we go in a two-wheel drive class, and the four-wheel drives, we'll have some here tomorrow, but like two-wheel drive class, you've got Brandon Lee. That truck on the Wild and Blue, that is a tough competitor down here in North Carolina. In fact, I think he's won every hook but one down here. So that you've got some tough trucks, and he's running against some big names. So all he's got to do in order to win the UPOC points is make the hook tonight, and he's basically won the UPOC points. But, he went and went in with that big mix in the interleague, representing Region 4. With that Wild and Blue truck, and didn't have the best run, but you get the opportunity to run at the interleague, you got some good stuff.
Absolutely. And another thing that's unique about this event is you talked about the Region 4 classes, NTPA Region 4,
right?
But then we've got the state level classes that are running here this weekend. So points are up for grab, and really the NTPA season is pretty much that's it after this weekend. Then it's on to the banquet time and all that stuff. But competition-wise, this is pretty much it.
This is it, and that's one thing about it. People are going to lay it on the line. They might be a little bit conservative tonight, but tomorrow on their last hook, they are going to leave it out all on the track, no doubt about it.
And once again, fans, we're here in Raleigh, North Carolina, the North Carolina State Fairgrounds, a storied history in the sport of of pulling, really. I mean, they've held many events back when the NTPA Grand National Circuit started in 77. right here, Raleigh, North Carolina.
Wow.
They were down here pulling. So, that when they decided to make, the Grand National Circuit, they got rid of all the events and said, hey, we're going to have, 10 to 12 events.
Right.
Raleigh, North Carolina was on that first year for the schedule. So, a lot of history, and the place has changed. I haven't been here in 23 years. This is, first year back. And how different things are. The last time I was here, there was a racetrack around the place.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
We ran 2 tracks. Now you're confined. It's really kind of a cool atmosphere, really.
It is, and if you get the opportunity, ever come here, the grandstands will pack. We'll have 7,000 people here tomorrow, no doubt about it, and it will be from one end to the other. And this crowd here loves it. We have people that will drive hours just to come to the NC State Fair Pull because they know the top competitors in the nation are going to be battling it out right here.
And absolutely, you're going to see it all weekend long, fans. 4 sessions starting at 6 o'clock here tonight. FullPull.live. If you're not subscribing, you're seeing us on Facebook or you're seeing us on YouTube, $39.99. And we've got some great events. We got 4 sessions this weekend. Next weekend, we got the Outlaw Finals, and we got Diesels and Dark Corners. We got the big event out in California. You talk about variety. You're
going to see it. And look, if you want to go back, we talk about the big pulls in NTPA, your fort recoveries, your Bowling Greens. So if you buy that $39.99, you can go home and you can watch this event. But say Monday night you get home and you're like, I want to watch a little bit more pulling. Go back and watch Bowling Green. Go back and watch fort recovery. Watch all those pulls throughout the whole season. You'll have commentary from all kinds of different announcers. You'll see different viewpoints. You'll see some stuff you have never seen if you spend that $39.
And the best part about it, you can use that fast forward button.
That's right.
You like one class? Hey, we can go through and watch my favorite class, and you don't have to watch the whole show, and that works out. So once again, fans, FullPull.live, $39.99 will get you all the events here through the rest of the year. And like Bert said, go back and watch some of these great events. The summer goes by so fast. We're at those events, and before you know it, you're, July, August, and here we are, we're at the North Carolina State Fair already, and it's like, wow, where'd it go?
Down here we started pulling in April, and we have been pulling literally since April, and now we're finishing up here in October. So, you think about it, that's a lot of hooks been put out on the circuit this year.
Absolutely, and with that, we're going to bring in our director of competition here. We got Marvin Epperson's going to join us here as soon as we get Marvin's attention here. Yeah. We'll get him up here to the podium here.
He got an important text of somebody.
Well, being the director of technical services with the NTPA.
He's a busy man.
Yes, absolutely, and Marvin's here to oversee the action here this weekend. As we'll get Marvin set up here. There you go.
There we go.
All right, yeah, Marvin. So once again, Marvin, we introduced you, as the director of competition technical services with the NTPA. Your sophomore season.
Yep.
Tell us about it. Now we remember year one.
Yep.
And things were people don't like change.
Nope.
You know how that works.
Nope.
So how are things going here in year number 2?
24 here has been really awesome. I've been able to concentrate more on the running of the pulls, and everybody knows me now. All the promoters, the fair board members, most of the pullers, and it's been a lot smoother. And now they kind of learn me and what to expect, and it's just been an easier task. I find myself with extra time for the pull now, and I think I'm forgetting something, but it's actually the job has got easier and things are taken care of. So
everybody knows what buttons not to push and what to push now, right? After 2 years. Now, Marvin, let's talk about your history in the sport of pulling. Where did you start, a competitor, and then moving on into the technical role?
Well, so I started 11 years old on a Super M farm all. Got in a pull-off at a local pull at home and was hooked from then on. Then moved into two-wheel drive trucks and that ran national aspirated two-wheel drive for almost 30 years, from the time I graduated till 2010 in that area, 2011. And then started working for NTPA at 08 when they come and wanted me to be a tech official, because I ran my association in Southwest Ohio and pretty much had a lock on all them fairs and venues. So when NTPA asked me to be a tech official, then that came with it, for the region side. So and from that point on, from about 2011, 2012, I also ran a Bauer sled for Mark Bingham on the Mark sleds out of Greenville, him and Singers, and ran the mini sled as well. So I did that, both brush pulling, region pulls, some Grand National stuff which actually, if you could believe it or not, has led to a lot of knowledge that I've used here on the track doing the job I have now.
Well, hands-on.
Yeah.
Now, we talk Southwest Ohio. Where in Ohio are you from?
Okay, so I live in Camden,
Okay.
Ohio. So
Petro territory.
Yep, about 6 miles. I'm on the east side of Camden. They're on the west side. I'm about 50 miles north of Cincinnati, 14 miles south of I-70, Preble
Okay.
County. So I'm kind of right in the center of the heart of pulling. It's 500 miles to come to Benson. It's 500 miles to go to Farley, Iowa. So it doesn't matter where I'm going.
You're right.
You're still going 500 miles.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right in the middle.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about here this weekend. We got NTPA Region 4 competition. Now, as the director of technical services, what do? You just help out this weekend? Or
Yeah.
you pretty much you just kind of oversee it, or how does that work?
Yeah, so just this afternoon they've got 4 sleds here, so I've went ahead and took care of all the sled inspections for the guys, let them do the teching, and we did have a meeting this morning because they're on a real tight venue here and don't have a lot of room, so you got to have a good game plan to make it run smooth, and they've pretty much got it figured out. And I'm not here to change what they're doing, I'm just here to help them, and if I see little things that'll make it better for them from here on or tomorrow or Sunday, that I'll just mention it and we'll tweak it a little bit and let them move on. They do a good job.
Now, does each region have like a competition director per se, or how does that work?
Pretty much. So the United Pullers of Carolinas here, Nikki Freeman, I believe, is what they call their tech director here in the Carolinas, and he runs for the UPOC. And then, of course, they have a state organization there with Marvin McDonald as president, Daryl Ledbetter's the vice president. And they've got their own tech officials, and they do some state hooks. And then when it's region or like Benson ran the Grand National, I have them guys come and they'll work for me then at the Grand National.
Okay, so it kind of works out, and then that works with like Region 2 as well, and
Yep.
Region 3, and
Yep.
different events like
We've
that.
got
They each got their own director.
A new Region 2 director was new this year in 24. Presented a brand new entry trailer for Region 2 because they needed one, and it's just been a flawless transition. He did a good job. The trailer was well accepted by all the competitors, like, wow, that's ours. I said, yep, that's yours. And same way up in Wisconsin. You got, Wisconsin tractor pullers. Now out in Iowa is a little different. I've got one board member, Dale Kwame. He's out there. He kind of does a lot of the region hooks in that area, but when we go out to Grand National, I pull the guys in from a little bit of everywhere, Wisconsin, Minnesota, Iowa, and get a crew together, that's big enough. So you just got to keep track of where everybody's at. I got somewhere around 75 to 80 tech officials I'm keeping track of. We got 30-some entry clerks. So it's a job besides the tractors,
Well, you talk about that during the off season, where you've got the tech, schools all, getting everybody all certified. Now, is that a yearly where you have to certify every year? Okay.
So we have them retake the tech test, and we go over any old rules that we think is important to refresh it in their mind, and then anything that got voted on here at the Enderley pull-off when all the rule proposals got put in. Anything that's going to be new for 25, then we'll school them on that as well. But yeah, this job has no off time. When I'm done here, I just had 2 phone calls a few minutes ago. Everybody wanting to know what the changes are going to be. So we're already working on the 25 rule book, and I need to have it printed by the 1st December because I'll start teaching tech schools probably a couple in December and then start traveling about 6 or 7 different states, and that'll be about 9,500 miles of traveling just teaching tech schools.
Oh, wow.
So, and we're doing it at puller shops in the area. We'll bring in a pulling vehicle or two, and we'll measure a vehicle, or we'll talk safety or point out things that we've seen in the past season. And more hands-on look is a better education than anything I can put on the video screen or on a piece of paper.
Yeah, like you say, just one of those jobs.
Yep.
It just keeps every new rule that comes out. Got to keep everybody up to date on that. Now, you were telling me earlier you came for the first time last year here to Raleigh and came back this year. What are your thoughts of this event here in North Carolina State Fair?
Well, I had heard about the venue being so close knit and not having enough room, and then when I got here, I'm like, oh my God, But I kind of watched them Friday night, and they had it figured out pretty much. And then after Friday, I seen a few things that they could do to speed it up a little bit, make it better. We implemented that on Saturday night after the rain out, and then Sunday was pretty flawless. It was a really good show Sunday afternoon, and they've already instrumented the new things that we did last year and got them ready to go for today.
Yeah, for those fans that have never been here to this pull in Raleigh, now, like myself, that it's been so many years that they've got limited space here, so they got to bring the vehicles in, more or less like an indoor show.
Yeah,
have to have everybody kind of lined up according to how they pull and bring them in, and it's just a whole formula how everything works here. Burton, any questions here for Marvin?
Well, Marvin, that's one of the things that we talk about is we have people that are literally having to go a half a mile to a mile to get to this track. And I saw what you did with the scales, and I think that's pretty cool because that keeps that bottleneck. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you've ever come here, we had scales down here at the start of the track. We had 2 sets. Well, the problem is when they make that turn to come up here, everybody gets bottlenecked. And if you get one vehicle that has an issue or whatever, it's just kind of over. So I think that's going to work out great.
Now, Marvin, there's never a problem at the scales, right?
Never. Never.
Everybody just kind of breezes right through, right? Yeah, right. Yeah.
You can make it a flawless transition. It's not rocket science, but you need to have a plan going in, and it makes it work pretty smooth, you know. And I think what they've done here, what they talked about this morning, and we're going to try it tonight, and if it works fine, it'll be all weekend. If not, we'll tweak it a little bit, but it'll get the first 2 classes staged and over here behind us, and then all of them they'll pull, come in line, pull again, get back in line, and they'll stay in here until they're done, and then they'll take them out as a group. And like you said, coming into the scales, if a guy needs to wait, it's a quarter mile away.
You ain't kidding.
So they either got to haul them in with them in the Gator or the Kubota, or hope that they're right when they get here, So it's a thing. They had a good drivers meeting a while ago, and everybody knows that they got to have we have got a plan, and they need to cooperate. And if everybody cooperates and clicks along, it'll run pretty good.
Yeah, I think we've got right in the neighborhood around 50 hooks this evening. So, it should be a great show here in single track action. And one thing about Marvin, he likes to move them through. So that's always he always likes to keep that show going.
Well, it's all about, we're here to put on a show for the fans. And I wouldn't want to sit up there and watch a grader tractor for 3 or 4 minutes. To us, that don't seem long, but to them it does.
Absolutely.
And
it is.
If you can keep it moving along pretty quick where they don't even have time to get up and go get a pop, they're going to enjoy that.
Absolutely. And send them home in a couple of 3 hours.
And there's a ton of stuff to do here at the NC State Fair, and I'm sure the people at the NC State Fairgrounds want them to stay in here, watch a little bit of the show, and get back out there and spend that dollar bill.
Sure, and that's what we try to do everywhere, Region, Post Grand National. You give 2.5, 3 hour show, send them back out on the midway. But if you run until 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, they're going to go straight to the car and go home.
Right.
But you get them out there at 9:30, 10 o'clock, they'll hang around, get autographs, buy a T-shirt, go buy something to eat. That's what you want them to do.
Absolutely. Spend a little bit of time. Well, Marvin, we know you're busy.
Yep.
We'll let you get back to work here. Thanks for joining us here on FullPull.live. Once again, fans, 6 o'clock here tonight. We're going to get going with session number 1.
I got one question.
Yeah.
Why didn't we do this from the skylift?
That would be a lot cool. Let's try that tomorrow.
Well, you guys can go up.
We'll have to do a safety inspection on it first.
I was going to say, we go around the ring there.
Thank you, guys.
I remember that movie Roller Coaster. You remember that movie?
Yeah.
I won't go up in a sky.
I don't know. I've seen them put up some of the rides here. Holt's coming up. Holt Strickland's going to join us.
Yeah, one of our young guns going to join us here.
Young guns. He's had a couple of top 10s on the Grand National this year, and join us up here. While we got a second, let's talk about the United Pullers just for a minute. And Holt knows a little bit about this. You've been around this club for a long time. This is United Pullers of the Carolinas. We're North Carolina, South Carolina, East Tennessee, and Southern Virginia. Where did you remember going to your first pull at?
I couldn't tell you.
You couldn't tell you. I remember when you were about knee-high to a grasshopper in Harrells, North Carolina, out there playing in the yard with your dad and everybody else. But so let's talk about a little bit about this. You've had a great season, no doubt. You've done a lot of learning, but you've had some hiccups in the middle. And you had kind of a rough run at your home track last weekend. So is it ready or not?
No, sir, it's not.
I jinxed him.
Oh, is it your fault?
I jinxed him.
It's Dan's fault.
He had the middle part of the season. Holt had things. I mean, first year in the mini rod, first full season for Holt.
Yeah.
And, out on the Grand National circuit, getting to learn the tracks, and all of a sudden it started clicking. He's getting,
he
good
got
runs,
a 7th
good
and got a 10th, and out of 20 and 30 vehicles.
And I forget where, I think it was Bowling Green, I mentioned something about how he's starting to get this thing rolling, and then right there it just went in the tank. I won't say it anymore.
So this weekend you're not driving the Mini, obviously.
No, sir.
So what are you driving?
I'm going to drive the Heavy Super.
The heavy Super. Now, you've driven the Heavy Super before, right?
Yes, sir.
I ran a win.
Yeah.
Yes.
I ran the whole season last year on the Galot 1.
So you're going back. You're used to driving it, so you're ready for this weekend.
I wouldn't say I'm ready for it. I ain't been on one since Enderley of last year.
So, Holt, remember you started with the Light Pro tractor,
Yes,
ran that for a little while, and really had some wins on that tractor, had some bad luck too.
Yes.
And then, so where did the idea for the mini rod come around? Is it just one of those things where you're like, they pull a lot around here? Is that, you had a lot to do with it?
No,
or?
I've always liked the mini class, and we had that one that we tried that Pro Charger on. It didn't ever work, and I liked it then. I said I'd like for them to keep it, but they decided that wasn't our deal. So
That was quite the machine. I mean, if you fans remember the turbocharged entry
Pro
for the
Charger,
Galot team,
yeah.
And that was a lot of potential right there.
If y'all
Yes.
could have made that work, I think that would have been a game changer. Which there were some challenges with that whole setup.
Yes, sir.
With just the rules of National Tractor Pull Association, you can't run electronic fuel control. So
Nope.
that Pro Charger, you've basically got to have that to make it work.
yes, sir. It's big in the drag racing. It's real successful in the drag racing.
Oh yeah. So you're going to be driving the Super this weekend. Your dad's going to be driving the Light. So you've got some tough competition. Where's it going to go this weekend? Where do you think it's going to go?
I have no idea.
You see him rolling in. James Van Hoyt just went by.
Yep.
Funny.
So let's back up a little bit. So let's talk about the Super Stocks. The Galot team for years had run, Galot 1, Galot 2 in the, Super Stock Open class, the
Yes,
big
sir.
heavy tractors. And now over the winter, the Galot 1 went overseas.
Yes, sir, it did.
So now you just have Galot 2, and then you guys had built a Light Super during the off season. So you've been campaigning those two tractors, and then you have your mini rod. And basically, it was one of those things where you guys could pack up and go to a Grand National pull, put everything in the trailer, and go have fun.
Yes,
that was
sir.
the idea, right? That was.
Yes, sir, it was. It's been a busy summer between everything, and Brent and them's got that mod, and we help him a little bit with it. It's been a busy summer, but it's been a real fun summer. I'm ready to do it again next year.
I was going to ask you, rating, how the summer went with, being busy and everything, but the end of the deal is you had fun, though, right?
Yes, sir, we had a lot of fun.
So that, now have you kind of followed your old tractor? How's it been doing over in Europe? Have you paid any attention to it? Or
I haven't seen it much.
Okay.
I think I've seen a couple videos of it. I think they're doing pretty good with it. I think they still got a few kinks to work out, but I think it's going to be a good piece of it there.
Yeah, absolutely. And, kind of like a trade deal. It
Yes.
went over there, and the
Mod.
200 mod came over here, and, yeah, that kind of worked out pretty cool, and that was a neat deal.
Yes, sir.
Now, this weekend, we talked about going to be running the heavy tractor.
Yes, sir.
And you said the first time since the Enderley last year. So, some bugs, or what are we?
I just hope I can get it lead the start line.
Okay, all right.
Well, she lit good last weekend.
Yes.
So, John drove it last weekend and had 2 excellent passes with it. But this weekend, different track, different story. So,
It is.
you got any game plans for next season? Anything that you're looking forward to, or something that you might try that you're
Just try to keep it in one piece this year. Well, it's coming up here.
You know what? Let's talk about that Light Super. How was the rookie season for that tractor? Were you guys happy with it, or just still trying to learn the ways?
We're still
of the
trying
Light?
to figure it out. I think they're going to try and run the whole everything next year with it. It's still got some bugs, but I feel like it's going to be a good tractor.
Yeah, I mean, Limited Hooks saw it this year. Seemed there was a lot of potential there for sure.
Yes.
A lot of potential.
Folks, tonight you're not going to want to miss this show. We've got 2 regional classes kicking us off. First off, you saw a couple of the Light Pros come back through, and then we got mini rods, 2-wheel drives, light 4-wheel drives, and modifieds running here tonight, folks. So it's going to be a spectacular show. You definitely want to go to FullPull.live and check that out. $39, and you can go back and watch this man right here make a few passes.
Unfortunately, we won't see Just Ask tonight.
No.
For the weekend, it's on the shelf here, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But hope to see you back next year, Holt.
Oh, yes, sir.
On
It'll
the
be
Grand
back.
National circuit and ready to get things going. Talk about, how are things going over there at Galot Motorsports Park? Had the big Grand National pull earlier this year, and then last weekend you guys had like a diesel type event.
Yes, so that was a pretty neat deal. Just tried something a little different and didn't have the crowd that we were wanting, but the pullers came, and I feel like it was a good show.
Kind of a thing where just kind of new and people, like anything, first year you gotta kind of grow the thing a little bit, and once people become aware of it, hey, they got this big diesel event out there at
Yes,
Galot, and So, I mean, some big drag races, too. You've had a big PDRA event a couple weeks ago.
Yes, sir. Had a PDRA event a couple weeks ago, and they have a small tire thing. I think they have it about once a month.
Oh, okay. And how are the crowds there for the big PDRA event?
Friday was a little off, but Saturday I feel like they've done pretty good. I didn't go up there Saturday, but from what I've heard, it was a good event.
Okay. All right. So anything new for next year that you guys are working on, or just kind of see how things go and make the decisions during the winter there? And
yes, sir.
Well, Holt, it was a pleasure joining us here, and make sure you do come and talk with us during the mini rod class. We'd like to hear some expertise.
I ain't
on
much
the
of
mini
an
class.
expert.
Well, hey, you got a year under your belt now. I mean, you've got more experience than I do, so.
I don't know, that first run he made with Cody's tractor in South Carolina last year, you would have thought he had been driving that tractor for about 5 or 10 seasons. I mean, he drove it like an expert, no doubt about it.
And was it everything you thought it would be? I mean, you said, I've always wanted to drive a Mini, and then, okay, you got the Mini, and, once you figured things out.
It's a lot more of a challenge than I ever figured it was going to be. I knew it was going to be a hard class, but it's a fight. They have to keep up with those guys, and everybody in the mini rod classes can win at any weekend, and it's fun. I like the competition. I like the big numbers.
Yeah, absolutely. And this weekend, I think we've got
12,
13 of them.
Yeah.
Yes. Nice field of minis here this weekend, and of course on the Grand National circuit, 20 to 25 at every hook, and sometimes more. So yeah, that's definitely the numbers are there. Well, Holt, we'll let you get back to the pit area there, and get everything all ready to go here tonight. Once again, fans, $39.99, 6 o'clock start time here tonight. Session 1 here in Raleigh, North Carolina, the North Carolina State Fair. Great event, and like you say, if you're not in shouting distance, I mean, I think they get about 1 million people show up for this fair throughout the week. It's
insane.
One of the largest state fairs in the nation, really.
One thing I learned about the NC State Fair, tomorrow night, you don't go out on the midway because you will not move. It will be bumper to bumper on a hole.
Yes. Try to go 30 feet, it'd take you 30 minutes.
Yeah. And try to get out of here, too. That's
another challenge, yep. So, but, yeah, this is going to be a great event, folks. You're going to be in the trailer all weekend. I'm going to be out on the track. So we're going to give you some different viewpoints of some different things that we see that is kind of just for here. Some of the challenges that we have here. And you're going to see a track change. This track changes quick in a heartbeat. When the sun's on it, it's dry. When the sun's off of it, it turns slick quick. You got to be careful.
Well, I was going to ask Holt about that. Now, the track at Galat, about 45 minutes down the road, an hour, give or take, from here. The dirt that they run here at the State Fair, is it different from the dirt down there in Benson?
Yes, sir, it is.
Oh, it is. Okay. All
this is a red dirt here, and we have more of a sandier clay.
Yeah, I remember the red dirt when I raced down at Charlotte. I've still had race cars that were stained red, from the red dirt. So that's what they have up in this general area, and then over to the west as well. Okay. So there you go. The track.
It's a challenge, and you'll see people tonight, and you'll see a lot of the people that don't run on this type of dirt. Tonight is just a learning experience to figure out how to set it up for tomorrow. You'll see a lot of the guys do that here tonight. You'll see some conservative runs tonight, and then tomorrow night they will flat out lay it on because they're just trying to figure out the track.
And absolutely, we want to remind you to go to FullPull Picks as well and check out the head-to-head picks for the weekend here. And, I know we have the Light Pro class up there, and you guys were talking the other day about some of the head-to-head picks.
Yeah, some of the head-to-head picks we've got here. I mean, the best thing you can do is download the app. And the reason why I say download the app is because this stuff will change. So if something changes, like if we have a vehicle drop out or something like that, you definitely want
this guy. Everybody was going for this
guy right here.
Yes.
And then it came out. So that's one of the challenges with one of the things here with FullPull Picks. This stuff is live. So if somebody changes or somebody drops out, it's going to be a big game changer as far as your picks. But we were talking about picks the other night, and you looked at the Wilsons are coming out of Maryland, and they're against Brandon Lee on Wild and Blue. And Wild and Blue cleaned their – I hate to say it like this on TV or whatever, but he beat them both nights by about 10 foot. So he kind of found a good happy spot with that truck.
And where was this, Lumberton?
Lumberton.
Okay.
This was a regional national event in Lumberton, North Carolina.
Okay.
So there gets the Willisons, on some of their truck or some of the picks here. So there's your his.
Have been pretty tough here.
They are tough here, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
So that's where you're going to see that dirt make a difference. See who makes the adjustments. And the biggest thing here with, I would say, two-wheel drives and even minis, there's basically 2 lanes in this track. If you're on the right-hand side, and Holt can attest to this, what happens if you're on the right-hand side? Where do you go?
You stay going right.
Yep. If you get on the left-hand side, you'll end up going left.
Really?
It'll take you right into the concrete barriers if you're not careful.
And it's just one of those things. No matter how many times you work the track, it's always that thing. Just like the right track at Bowling Green will take you to the left. You know,
exactly.
No matter what you can change the dirt, and it's
whatever you want to do. That's where you're going to be. But like I'm pulling up full pull picks here, folks. I'm telling you, this is going to be the head-to-heads. Go to here. Let me pull this up here. It's not pulling up. There it goes. Some of the full pull picks here.
There's quite a few people here at the fairgrounds. It kind of slows everything down with the.
Yeah, no doubt. The technology here is unreal. But you can and you'll be able to watch all 4 sessions here tonight. Just the picks, I'm pulling those up here in just a second because I want to make sure I'm correct on these. We talked about these a little bit the other night. But look at your head-to-heads. Really? Yeah, it's not going to do it. Yep. Oh, here she goes. Allie's got me covered. I was trying to pull it up on my phone.
Bert must have had an update on his phone.
Yeah,
he had to sign back in.
Yeah. All right, so we're going head-to-head. Thank you, Allie. Allie keeps us all
producer
straight.
Right there.
Yeah, I know. She's keeping it straight. But looking at head-to-heads, I'm just going to pull up mini rods. And let's look at a mini rod class because this is your class right here. So the first head-to-head is Carolina Night Train 2, B-Bear, and Wild Card.
Oh, boy.
So that's a tough one. Out of those 3, which one would you go with, Holt?
I ain't going to say.
You ain't going to say?
I'm not going to say.
You're not going to go with the North Carolina guy?
I'll go with North Carolina.
Yeah, okay. I was wondering if you was going to go with Cody or not. Yeah.
Okay.
Y'all don't live too far from each other either. So, and we go on the second round of picks. We got the Carolina Night Train, which is Cody's second tractor. Little Bear, Jeff Hurt, and Short Fused, and Spending Their Inheritance. Now that's the kicker in there because Mary's got she's got some strong stuff. So out of those 4, which one are you going to go with? Now you remember who won it last year? Jeff Hurt.
Jeff won it?
Yeah, Jeff won it. He cleaned house. So which one are you going to go with?
I'll stay with Cody.
Huh?
He's going to stay with Cody. Okay.
$15? Oh, okay. So
they're going to spend Allie's money.
Yeah, we're already making picks on Allie's pocket.
We're
making picks on Allie's pocket. But yeah, so that's how it's not like you're trying to pick up what their maximum distance or anything. You're just picking the 4 out of the 4 or out of the 3, and you're
who's
picking
going to win.
Who's going to win.
Yep.
And let me tell you something. With that class, like you were just talking about, it can be anybody that takes that win. Because every one of these tractors has won or been in the top 2 or 3 all season. So this is just giving you a heads up. Let me pull up. I want to pull up 2-wheel drives because that's a good head-to-head on that one. Wild and Blue, Running Bear, Stephen Wilson, and Alan Brown. Now that's a guy everybody's like, well, he's been around pulling since 1977, folks.
KG veteran.
Yes, and you don't. There's one thing I've learned about Alan Brown. You don't let him be last hook in that class because he will find a way to gain about 5 or 10 foot on you in a heartbeat. So out of those 3, Wild and Blue, Running Bear, and Alan Brown's C-Cab, that's going to be a tough one there too. And the second group on that, out of the blue, Tommy Corsa, Dirty Money, and her Dirty Money. So the Willisons are going to be kind of competing against each other. Which one do you want to do?
Got to go with her Dirty Money.
I was going to say Crystal's a tough one. Yeah, yes. she's one of. In fact, she pulled her first win down here ever was here at the NC State Fair. So that's one thing. They pulled good here at the NC State Fair. So that's going to be a tough. That grouping or that pairing is going to be one to watch.
She's tough. She is tough. That's for sure. So that'll be a good pick.
Yeah. So I mean, that just go through, pick out who do you think. But he's going to, what is he giving us? Oh, rabbit ears? Hey, there's Schultz. Hey, man, what's happening? I was wondering what's he giving us rabbit ears for? But looking at some of the others here in the Light Pros, let's go to Light Pro head.
I seen him earlier walking across the street with a suitcase.
Oh, is it?
Like he just magically appeared here in North Carolina.
He did. Yeah. He'd just be like Linus and walk across with a blanket. So go in here in a light pro picks. You got some tough ones here. High Gear Harvester, Kendall Beasley, and James Van Hoyt on that Shade Tree Smoker. Don't cut out that John Deere. Because that one has been a big – that used to run a super farm. I don't know if you remember.
Oh, yeah.
That was a tough cookie to beat. And you're looking up, smoking up a storm with Perry Walters. He's had about 3 or 4 wins this year. Obviously, Hunter Beasley with winning the Enderley. And Dewey Jones on the Hoss. Now, he's had problems with that tractor until last weekend. And that tractor ran superbly. The only problem was the clutch seized together at the end of the run.
Oh.
So they had to fix that. But the motor was running perfect. So any of those, it can be anybody's ball game, no doubt.
Absolutely. Yeah, Shade Tree Smoker would be my pick on that one. I would go with that one.
Yeah. So
sentimental value.
Yeah. You remember that tractor?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it used to run all over the place. Really.
You're going to see a tractor in the hot farm class.
Okay.
You remember Red Iron Special?
Red Iron Special? Yes.
Justin Sturtevant owns that tractor now. He's going to be running that as a hot farm.
Okay.
So, and he's already picked up a couple of wins this season, too.
And that was a super farm
that was
back
a super
in
farm.
the day, yes.
Yep.
Wow, you're starting to go back in the old
you're going to see a lot of them out here tonight.
Yeah.
So, Dan's having flashbacks right here, ladies and gentlemen.
That's good. That's good, though.
So, pick it up, and and mods, that's another one. You got a lot of people here, Ohio Express Jr. and Don Dean on the Plumber's Nightmare, no doubt. If he gets all 3 engines running, he knows this track. Mr. Twister, Scott Tedder.
Another guy that, yep.
In fact, every year he's run here, that dirt mound needs to be moved up about 50 foot because he would plow right through it. So, and outclassed. He ran Chase is coming down here. I believe this is his first time coming down here. I don't think he was here last year. But so you got a good combination right there to pick out of which ones. Turbines against blower motors. That's a good mix there. So,
I'd go with Don Dean.
Yeah.
I'd go with Don.
He runs it. That man makes more hooks in one season than I think any other.
Oh, he's been, many. I mean, going back years, it would be Bob Jostock or Don Dean would be hooker of the year because they just ran everywhere, no matter where.
We used to pull with him some. When I used to run a modified, he always comes down here and used to run with us. And I would say, Don, how many hooks have you had this year? He said, about 65, 66, something like that. So he'll drive 10 hours to make a hook, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
So, folks, no doubt tonight, Full Pull Picks. It is. This is going to be one heck of a show. And just go on Full Pull Picks. Take about $20 just playing it because I guarantee you're going to win something out of it because a lot of these are 50-50, so you got a 50% chance of making it. And even you got better percentage that than winning the lottery here. So, 33% on a few of them. So do those picks, folks. Just go up, download the Full Pull Picks app. I obviously have to log into mine again. So I guess my time.
Yeah, we'll just spend Allie's money. Once again, 6 o'clock start time here tonight, FullPull.live. Fans are already starting to fill the grandstand here tonight. It's going to be a great show. Beautiful Friday night here in Raleigh, North Carolina. It's going to be a great show, and let's say, come out and join us.
Yeah, we'd love to see you out here. If you can be here in 2 hours, be here in person. If you can't, FullPull.live.
FullPull.live, and we'll be back tomorrow with another program before a countdown show, before our afternoon session tomorrow.
Oh, she needs her computer back?
Needs her computer back. So.
Oh, dang it, I didn't spend any money.
With that, we'll sign off, and we'll say good evening, everybody, and we'll get ready for the big show, get some popcorn ready, and sit back. If you're not able to be here in Raleigh, if you are, then, like I say, the grandstand's starting to fill up here, and we'll see y'all. Holt, thanks for joining us again, bud.
Thank y'all for having me.
Yes, absolutely, and hopefully, things go well here over the weekend, and we'll be talking with you. Hopefully, Bert will be talking to you in the winner's circle.
Winner's circle, yeah. We're going to knock that out. You're going to get on one of them at least.
I don't know about that.
He's modest.
He's modest,
He's modest. So, once again, fans, 6 o'clock start time here in Raleigh, if not, Full Pull Live. And once again, $39.99 will get you all the events here for the rest of the season. Next weekend down in Texas, then we go Georgia, and then we go to California to, end the season.
That's
so
right.
Lots of pulling, and we'll see you back here tomorrow for the countdown show, and then we'll see you later on here tonight for session number 1.